Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me Pixel, and today we have another Inzoi speed build. Now this build takes place in Bliss Bay and it is a beach house. So this is a 3-story house, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So although it is a 3-story house, it is still quite small. Again, we only have 2 bedrooms, 1 main and 1 kid's bedroom. Now the idea of this is maybe this isn't necessarily the main house, more so of a summer house that your Zois can go and enjoy themselves by the beach. So on this first floor you have a open garage that also leads to a common area. It would be like a living room slash office situation where there's also a bathroom. Then on the second floor is where you have your main living, so that's where you'll have your kitchen area as well as a little seating area. And on that last floor, so the third floor here, is where you have both bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Now, because we are going for a beach house theme, the main color palette that you're seeing revolves around those blues and whites as well as some light colored wood. At first I went with this very bright colored blue, inspiring myself from the buildings around, but then I thought that it might be a bit too bright, so I toned it down. Now for the stairs, to make it look a bit more beachy, I went ahead and removed those backboards from the stairs. Now on this little balcony here is where you'll probably have your main dining area, and that's where you're gonna have a barbecue so that your Zois can go ahead and cook some nice meals during the sunset. So now with the windows, we tried to go with a lot of windows where you'll have a nice view of the beach, and we added those wooden shutters to make it look again more beachy. So there's no windows on the sides just because I felt like it was a bit too close to the buildings and we wanted to have that privacy. So at first I did make the house actually quite small, so I decided to make it a bit longer just so that there's more space, because I did want it to have at least 2 bedrooms. And as I kept building, I realized that although I did make the house longer, it still wasn't that big actually. Now the sizes of the bedrooms are pretty good, but as for the main living space on that second floor, it's pretty tight, especially since I wanted to have a nice big kitchen with a nice island where your Zois can gather around and eat and have some nice drinks. You'll see that the living room space is quite tiny. Now, so what you can say is that if ever your Zois want to go ahead and relax, that would be mainly on that first floor, and the second floor is more for entertainment around the kitchen area, along with that balcony, which will be, as I said, the dining room. So right now, as you're seeing, I'm painting the exterior. I went with these wooden panels. At first I wanted to use some bright colors and match the building that you see right next to the house, but I don't know, I felt like something looked off, so I went ahead and just painted it all blue and decided to add some pop of color through the window shutters, and I ended up toning down that roof color just so that it matches better with the paneling. And what I also did was just to add some more dimension to the house. I went ahead and added these wooden beams, colorful between blue and white. And of course, when I think of a beach house, I think of a lot of very pretty flowers and greenery, so I just had to add these flowers all around the windows. And then to match the rest of the vegetation in Bliss Bay, I also added a bunch of different sized palm trees. Now as you can see, the second and third floor do come out quite a bit, but that first floor, I didn't make it come out as far. So it could look a little bit odd, but the idea was that underneath that second floor, that's where you'll have a bit of a second, well, I guess a ground level balcony area. Okay, and now I'm just adding all of my tropical vegetations here. Now one thing I do wish that Inzoi had, that The Sims does have, is all of the landscaping tools. I love the fact that in The Sims, and I kind of took that for granted, being able to use the terrain paint tool to add sand or cement or whatever you want to paint on the terrain, right? Instead of using these squares right here to create a sidewalk or a parking lot on your lot. So if anyone has any tips and tricks on that, please let me know. I'll appreciate it. Okay, so we are back into the interior now. Before I started this build, what I did is I went on Google and I searched up a bunch of nautical beachy patterns, and I imported those into Inzoi so that I can use them either for wallpaper or for cushions or bedding, and for the paintings as well. Now the primary colors are of course blues and whites. For the walls it is mostly whites, except for the accent walls where I use this wallpaper that has little blue anchors, and I think that's so cute, and I think it also matches perfectly with these cabinets in the kitchen that are very dark blue. And as you can see, this kitchen is quite long, and in a second here you will also see that big island, which is a 2x3 island. So I used 2 bars and I glued them together using the kind of move objects on sheet from The Sims, but in Inzoi is holding the Alt key. And then I changed their color to match the rest of the kitchen with that blue and wooden counter. And I also had to use the move objects on sheet again to place the bar stools, just because for some reason I feel like the snipping it doesn't snap that well at this point in this release of Inzoi. And then as you can see, I wanted to make a little dining room area with this wooden table, but what I really wanted was to be able to put 4 chairs. Unfortunately, there's not enough space to do that, so I went ahead and moved the dining set for now, and it ended up going on the balcony, and instead I created a little seating area. So I added this bright well, it's not that bright, this blue couch, and added these nautical themed cushions on there as well. I also thought that these lights gave it a pretty nautical look, so I thought they would be cute in the living room. And in here you see the artwork that I'm adding, and adding in those images that I imported. So we have some cocktails, we have the view of the beach, and a boat. And at this point I just started decorating this main living area. So in the kitchen we added a toaster, added a trash can, added some tissue paper, and a little water machine there. On these shelves I also added a bunch of cups and some wine bottles. I also added a fan in the center of the room, just because I felt that gave it a very beachy vibe. Okay, so now we are adding some little welcome mats, and we are back to the balcony. So this is the dining set that we had earlier. We moved it up here and can now add 4 chairs. I wanted to add some speakers to create a fun little vibe outdoor, and added that barbecue. Of course, we need a lot of greenery to match the rest of the greenery that is on the ground level. Okay, so we are slowly heading here to the second floor. I'm just changing the stairs to match the color of the flooring, and here we are. So as you can see, although it looks like there's 2 bathrooms, actually I converted one into a closet that can be used for both bedrooms, because I felt like there wasn't enough storage area in this house. So there's actually only one bathroom on this floor, and it is the one closer to the master bedroom, and both of these bedrooms are pretty similar size, and that is because one is going to be used as a kid's bedroom, but it will have 2 kids beds in it, so it needed to be big enough. Now again, going with the nautical theme, we went for some white colored walls and some striped blue walls for the accent color. And again, I found these patterns on Google and I thought they were perfect for the bedding. I also found some little shoe racks there that I added to the entrance. I kept this kids room pretty simple, so it is good for all ages. I didn't want to make it too kid looking either, so but again, not too mature either, so we added a few toys here and there, nothing much, and kept that match of the bedding on the rug, but made the pattern a bit smaller. I also thought that since there's no TV on that main floor, it would be nice if the kids had their own little TV. So you'll see in a second there, I added a old school looking TV with a little switch, and right here we have some extra paintings that I added again with some downloads from Google for the pattern. So here is that TV that I was talking about. I had trouble placing it. I had to first place the TV on the TV stand outside, and then I was able to freely move it around with like that move objects on sheet. And I thought it would be really cute to have a nice big bean bag there. I thought that it just fit perfectly with the space. I added it as a very dark blue. At first I really liked that train set or that car set because I thought it matched the whole vibe with that pop of yellow especially, but unfortunately it was taking a bit too much space. Now for the hallway, kept it very simple, just went with some darker blue colors for the walls and added some plants later on. Okay, so we are on to the main bedroom. Went with that wallpaper that you saw on the main floor, and to keep it mature with still a nautical vibe, we just went with those striped bedding. Again, created some custom textures here, and actually never mind, I ended up going for another pattern for the wallpaper. Added those two on two walls, and then on the other ones we'll go at some point, it's gonna change to a baby blue color. We added a bunch of dressers and then some little knickknacks here and there. And finally, the one thing I felt like this bedroom needed and was some bookshelves. I thought that these wooden bookshelves were the perfect fit for this bedroom. Now this bathroom I do really like. I do feel like it's giving me more of a Greek styled bathroom rather than a beachy one, especially with this sort of pattern on the floor tiles. But I went with that wooden sink to match the flooring, and again, nothing special. Now this is the walk-in closet area. I went with these cabinets, or what do you call them, these wardrobes here, and added some stools with a little rug. And finally, just to make the hallway feel more homier, added a rug and a bunch of plants. Okay, so we are off to this first floor. Over there in the corner is where the bathroom is going to be. You have the entrance that will be from the garage. Added some spotlights here, and then we have the balcony door, well, the backyard door I should say. Added some windows as well to match the level of the other floors. As for the interior, again, we're going with the nautical theme, of course, and keeping it consistent with the rest of the flooring and the walls of the house. Now I added some beams because I thought that this room was lacking some character. Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, now this room is more so entertainment purposes because there wasn't much of a living room area upstairs. We created this living room area on the first floor, so I added a nice big fireplace here with a nice big flat screen TV, but I also wanted it to be a space where anyone can create a work from home environment. So there is also a desk right behind this couch as well as some bookshelves. And then we have the bathroom as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this build. I'll let you guys enjoy the last few minutes of this video, and I hope you guys like this video. As always, let me know what you think, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.